Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to today's second part of the Qolsys series. First of all, what I'd like to do is just let you find the questions tab and the chat section in the toolbar on the right-hand side. We want it to be an interactive session today. Jason Upton is going to be going through the technicalities of the product, and I'll introduce you to Jason very soon. What I'd like to do is just get you to type in the questions, where you're calling from, and what the weather's like. Are you working from home, working in the office? Just let me know where you're calling from. I can see that Wolfgang's calling in from Germany. Thank you for joining us, Wolfgang. Hello, Marco. Good afternoon, Ilan, calling from Tel Aviv in Israel. Oh, everyone's jumping in now. Graham from Norfolk. Rob from Sweden. Peter from South Africa. We're getting people from all over the globe on this one today. The numbers are slowly going up, so welcome everybody. We're just welcoming everyone to the session. Find the questions tab on the right hand side. Put where you're calling from. We've still got heavy snow in England, or where I'm from anyway, where I'm sitting. About 5 inches at the moment. What I'd like to do, similar to last week, just to gather an understanding of the audience. Just going to do a couple of polls. So we'll start off with, are you currently a Qolsys customer? Yes or not yet? And if you're not one yet, then hopefully after today, Jason's showing you how quick and simple the installation process is. I'm sure you will be next week. Just keep waiting for a few people to join. And we'll move to our second poll. What product lines are you currently using for your residential installs? Are you using Pyronics? Probably the Enforcer, Texicom, Ajax, Orisec, Visonic Holder. I know there's obviously more manufacturers than those, but you know, we chose the key ones in the residential sector just to find out who's using what. And hopefully after today, you won't be using them, you'll be using Qolsys. And on to the last one. For now, just to find out a little bit more information about, are you using smart home? It seems to be a buzzword at this moment in time. What home automation devices are you currently installing? Lights, locks, thermostats, doorbell cameras, indoor-outdoor cameras. And if you're not using some of these, then Qolsys will let you integrate with these. So maybe it's another string that you can add to your bow. Seeing a large number of people using cameras and doorbells. Not so many on thermostats and lights and locks right now. Okay. So what I'd like to do now is just hand you over to Jason Upton. He is our technical account manager for the UK and Ireland region. And today he's going to go through the installation process. Again, if you've got any questions, just please put it in the questions tab. Over to you, Jason.
Hello, and thank you for joining us today on our part 2 of our 4-part series of our webinars. I presume you guys can see my screen okay?
Yes, we can.
So out of the box straight away, when you power the system up, the system will prompt you how to set up the setup wizard. One of the things I want to explain to you is because it's a PC-based system, it doesn't automatically mean you have to connect it onto the alarm.com portal first, or indeed register the IMEI number first. You can program the peripherals direct to the control panel, and indeed with the Z-Wave items direct to the control panel. So you can set the system up, if you like, the day before you go to site. So if you've got your specification of the property you've visited, you can enroll all the products, put them onto the system, and let somebody else, another member of the team, go and install the system. All they need to do is hook it up to the customer's Wi-Fi. All the peripherals will be already enrolled, and they just need to test the system. What you can do though, then after that, is tailor the devices remotely via the alarm.com portal. So it's a pretty flexible unit to use, and I'm going to show you the process now of how to put the peripherals onto the system. One step first, what we need to do, we're going to update the patch software. So basically, straight away, we're going to skip most of the menu. I know it's kind of going to make sense in a short while we've done that, and then we'll come back to the setup wizard. But most of the questions we're getting asked so far is how do we update the patch software? So this is what I want to show you first. So straight away, when you power the system up, you'll get a welcome banner, and you can see on the bottom there, it wants you to start off. So we're going to press start. What this is going to do is look for your customer's network or your network straight away. So obviously I've connected mine to my Wi-Fi. So it's found mine, and I'm going to click next. What my system now is doing is obviously checking for the dual path, checking see if we've got the power on there, see if the network cards are in there, so on and so on. At this stage, when you haven't registered the panel to the alarm.com portal, because you haven't registered the IMEI number, it may come back with a fault, so to speak. That's nothing to worry about. It's just that you haven't connected it up onto the SIM card yet. So mine's just downloading these settings, as you can see. It takes just a minute or two for it to do that. Once it's cleared, it's happy, and it'll let me move on. So I'm going to press next. At this point now, are you ready to add sensors? Well, no, we're not, because like I say, I want to do the patch update first for you. So we're going to skip most of this. As you can see there, obviously I've already got a few items in there. So we're going to skip most of it. Okay. One little tip, I suppose, at this point, when it does say enter contact information, this is your company. So I would just put this in at this stage, because when you've skipped it all, you've got to put it in anyway to get back into the engineering menu. So you may as well do it at this point now. As you can see, I've already done that. Do we want to check for updates? No, we don't. So we're going to skip that, skip it to the end, and then we're going to exit. Okay. So the panel's now what we come to the home screen. So I want to go back into the, let's say, the engineering side of it. So I need to drop down the settings. Well, where are the settings? Above the date and time, there's a little drop down menu. Okay, so we'll just tap that, it drops down, and I put the settings in. I want to go to advanced settings. I click advanced settings. At this point, your panel will ask you for a code number, and it will say enter user number. Don't enter the user number, enter the 4 ones, okay? Once you enter the 4 ones, it'll let us into this web menu page now. So as you can see there, it says upgrade software. So I'm going to click upgrade software, and what we're looking for is patch tag. So as you can see, the 5th bar down, it says patch tag, okay? I don't know if you want to make a note of this at this stage if you've got a pen and paper, but don't worry if not. If you contact us after, we'll give you the patch tag. So at this point, everything's going to be lowercase with no spaces. So we're going to type IQ panel. And we're going to put 2.5.4. Okay. At this stage, I would press OK to that. But I'm going to clear mine off. And then what we need to do, it's essential you put this onto your Wi-Fi to do this. And then what we need to do is press upgrade using network. I'm going to cancel mine off again. Once we press upgrade using network, it will download the patch software for you. So what it's doing now is taking it away from the old patch it was supplied with, and it's putting this new patch version in for you. Generally, that will take around 5 minutes, depending on your speed of your Wi-Fi. Once that is done, the panel will reboot, and then what we need to do is go back to the home screen, okay? Once your panel's rebooted, I think it automatically prompts you back to the setup wizard. But what we're going to do, we're going to force my panel and we're going to launch the wizard again, okay? So you will be back at this stage where we're at, as if we was back right at the start of the conversation. So unfortunately, we've just got to go through the first 2 stages yet again. So obviously it's looking for the Wi-Fi network. Again, mine's connected. So we're going to click next. It's going to do all its checks again. So again, at this stage, if you've not connected your IMEI number, don't worry about it. I think somebody's opened the mic. Okay. So, checking system, it's going through its setup again. Okay, now it's gone.
Turn your mic up, could you, Al? A few people are just saying.
Is it Paul?
Yes, yes. Just a few people are saying that the volume's not great. If you could just slightly.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
That better?
I think we'll see what people are saying.
Okay. Looks all fine my end, hopefully, so it should be okay.
Yeah, carry on, Jess.
Yeah, so carry on. So if you can just mute your mic if you don't mind. So it'll prompt us on to the next screen. So are we ready to add sensors? Well, yes, we are. Okay, so as you can see, we've got a start button. If you look now where it says searching for sensors, as you can see the end of it, it's bobbling away. Whenever that is bobbling, it's looking for a device. Anything with a pull tag on the battery, all you need to do at this stage is pull the battery tag, and it will auto enroll into the system. So I pull my battery tag. As you can see, it's found my door contacts, okay? So at this point now, we can tailor the device. What do we want it to do? So sensor name, are we happy with front door? If we're not, we've got a drop-down menu bar, and we can select what we want it to be. So for instance, this one, I'm going to call this one garage door, okay? Now, sensor group, do I want it on an entry exit? No, I don't. So again, I'll pull that bar up there, and I want it to be an instant perimeter. So it's group number 13, instant perimeter, okay? Voice prompts, yes, I'll have on, and I've got my chimers high wire. I'm happy with that, so I'm going to save it. So as we're saving it, it's adding the device to the control panel, as you've just heard there, okay? Okay, that's just so I've tampered the lid. So if at this point now we need to carry on adding any more devices, as you can see, the control panel next to sensors is bobbling away. So it's now looking for the next device. Well, I'm happy what we've done, so I'm going to next this. So As the screen caught up, yeah. So we've pressed next, and now what it's done is it's looking for a smart home device. Okay. So do I want to add any smart home? Yes, I do. So we'll press start. At this stage, it's always a good idea to clear a device out. Now, you might say, well, it's brand new, I've just owned it from the box, but you don't know and I don't know if it's been tested already in a factory. So it's always a good idea to clear that device. So what we do, we press clear device, and it's looking for me to press the enrollment button.
Device from the network successfully.
Okay, so as you can hear there, I've got my device powered up, and what that device is a Salus plug. So I've just deleted it from the device, from the control panel, and now I'm going to add it. So it's exactly the same principle, but I'm going to add device. Okay. So it's discovered the device, and it's going to add the device to the control panel. So it's going to take a few seconds for it to do that because it's going through its enrollment period, and it's just adding the node to the portal now.
We've got a quick question.
Yep.
From Rowan. He may have missed it, but it says add using the QR scanner. What device has the scanner?
Okay, so the lock has the Q scanner, but where it's actually positioned on the lock. Sorry, one of my other devices might have picked that up. Where it's actually the Q code is on the lock, it's on a bevel. So you're better off actually manually putting that in.
Okay. Hopefully, your question, Rowan.
Okay. Can you still see my screen, guys? I think my internet's froze.
Yes, it says retrieving configuration details at the moment, Jess.
Okay. All right, that's because I pressed it too many times. Okay, so that's my fault. I'm trying to reach under the desk because I'm trying to enroll it. So obviously device name, you can custom name that device name or pick off the list of what it wants to be. So entertainment center light and save.
Center light is added to network successfully.
Okay, so as you can see, it's gone in there, and also you can see that I've got other devices on there. Okay, so we're happy with that, so we'll click next. Okay, at this point, it's always a good idea when you add another device, because more often than not, we'll add that device next to the control panel. Then we're going to unplug that device and go put it into the position where we actually want to use it. With Z-Wave, it always works on a mesh network. So ideally, the more items you've got, stronger that mesh network's going to be. But again, every time we add a device, we want to do another optimization on the network. So what we need to do is re-optimize the network because we've put a device on there. Okay. At a later stage, we can always do that, which I'll show you in another section. So we're happy with that. On next. Okay. Pair Bluetooth. If you want to pair your Bluetooth with your phone at this stage, you can do that. Obviously, Bluetooth is for Bluetooth disarm. Well, next up, IQ remote. So many of you have heard by now on our previous webinars, and Paul, you mentioned this last week. We've got an IQ remote coming out, which is a desk mount remote. It's classed as a secondary remote, if you like. Obviously, the IQ2 panel is going to be the main hub, and the IQ remote, you would put, like, for instance, for me, I'll put it at the side of my bed. If we've got one, that's what we'd add at this stage. We haven't got one, so we're going to next. Okay, add users. The There's already a user code enlisted in the panel, which is 1234, and there's also an engineer number enlisted in the panel, which is 4 ones. Okay. So at this stage, I wouldn't add another master in, if you like. What I would do is edit the user number what's already in there. Okay. So as you can see, it's in there as admin. So I'd click edit and put 5678 in and put my name in, and exactly the same with the installer code. Or then you can add new codes there as well if you wish. So I'm happy with what we've got in. Again, at this point here, if you've already entered these details in, they should already be in there. If you haven't, then you're going to need to add your details in there. So we'll skip that. Check for updates. Well, we know we've updated it, so I'm going to skip that. Okay, and again, now we're right out and to exit the control panel. So what that's done now, obviously, it's allowed us to program our peripherals in there, and we've programmed Z-Wave items in there. Now, it will allow us to just turn the Z-Wave items on and off, but we can't give it all the niceties like any scenes or any notifications. That's when you have to put the panel onto the alarm.com portal. Next week, I believe it's alarm.com what's presenting, so hopefully that should be part of their realm, so they should hopefully be able to sort through that as well. So what we need to do now, if you so wish, we can tailor a few of the items. So let's say it comes preset as one of the exit doors or the exit door is on. If we don't open the exit door when we're arming the system, it automatically part arms the system. Well, that's a question we've been asked quite often. So I'll show you where that is and we can turn that off. If you like to leave that on, leave it on. The choice is yours. Me, I turn that off. So we need to go in advanced settings. I'm going to go to, again, at this stage, that'll ask you probably to put your code number in, put the 4 ones in, unless you put your own engineer number in. So we go to settings, we go to installation, and we go to installer settings, okay? So there'll be areas in here what you will want to turn on and off. So again, it's going to be up to you where you want to go with this. So I'm just showing you it's in there so you know where to look for items. Okay. So some of this, I've turned the seal limits off. I've turned that off. So in a second, when I drop onto another page, I can alter my entry exit times. If I don't turn that off, sorry about that. If I don't turn that off, I've got to leave my entry exit times on 45 seconds, etc. Okay. What I've done on my panel, I've enabled it to have partitions. So at this point here, if you want more than one partition, of which this panel will take up to 4, I tend to use a couple of partitions. I like to put a partition onto my garage or indeed my van on my drive. So I create that as another partition. Okay, so there's just a few options in there you'd want to change. The reason why some of them are greyed out, okay, these are not set up on the alarm.com dealer portal. If I haven't got anything set up on that, it won't show up on the screen. So for instance, you can see there I've got wellness page, it's greyed out. If I want that to come on there, I have to go into my dealer portal and add that onto my account, okay? So that's why that's greyed out. So same again, if we've got the IQ remote and I want to push the screen so I can view my CCTV on the screen, I need to enable it here at this point, okay? The part what I've just mentioned there about the arming, is in this section here. I'll go past that. It is, so I can tick there, look for auto learn, which it is. Okay, and then this section here If you need to, let's say you want to take, for some reason, all your Power G peripherals out of there, you can reset all your devices but leave all your Z-Wave in, okay? So if your customer's having a change of building, you're changing some of the devices around, and it's easier to remove them or to re-enroll them, you can do that at this stage here. I'll come back out of that screen and we'll go to security and arming. So security and arming, again, you'll probably want to change a few of these items in here, okay? So secure arming, if you want to put a code number in to arm the system, you highlight the section there. Final door, if I want a final door set, I can click the section there. Okay, let's say if you program a key fob on there, again, this is a question we've been asked. Some people have programmed a key fob in there, not being able to disarm the system off the key fob. It's in this section here. Key fob disarm needs to be ticked, and that will allow you to turn the system off with the key fob as well. Okay. So the section here, which I was explaining about where I want to change my entry exit times, well, now I can. I've eliminated this here, so I can turn the entry exit times now to what I want it to be. Obviously, I've got mine set on 20 seconds. You will see there's a normal entry time and a long entry time. What's that designed to do? Let's say if you've gone to set your alarm and it's counting down and you've left your car keys on the side, if you open the exit door and then go back out, it automatically puts that onto the long delay. So it'll give you whatever you've set that to. So mine's 30 seconds or yours might be 60 seconds or what it may be. So it'll automatically set that as an extra delay. So again, we've tailored things in that side of things. If we're going to Sirens and Arm Alarms, so what I've done here, your Power G smokes, for instance, I want that to trigger all alarms. So I've got a smoke detector in the house. I've got one in the office here. If it triggers an alarm, I want that to trigger in the house as well. So rather than putting extra sirens in there, I've made mine trigger through the smoke. As you can see there, you can add it for either or, okay? Same with the auxiliary panic. You can obviously put the panic button on there. You need to enable it in the section there. If then you want to change, if you want confirmation on for your intruder for your central station, again in this section, you need to tick the box there to do that. Okay. Panel sirens. This probably is a handy little tool. When you're going to do a maintenance and you don't want the panel to keep triggering an alarm when you're testing things, you can turn that panel siren off for 30 minutes. So it's not annoying your customer when obviously you're doing a walk test or a sounder test or anything like that. You can turn that off. As you can see, mine's all sirens on. Okay, I'll come back out of that. I just want to show you a little bit on the home screen. Oh, while we're on this one, actually, I'll show you camera settings. So camera settings, I've got mine turned off. So what a minute ago, I think Paul mentioned this. If you turn the cameras on, you now can have arm disarm. So if if you set the user up to disarm, let's say your children's coming home from school at 3:30, you can get the disarm photos pushed to your control panel. So you can tailor that section in this little part here. Obviously, I have mine turned off. Okay. Come back out of that. So home screen, I'm just going to bring you back to the home screen. So every time the system is let's say parked in its home screen, you'll see this screen what we've brought up here. Any other devices we add onto it, so when we add CCTV, for instance, it will automatically bring another page up. So once you've added the CCTV part into the alarm.com portal, it will auto refresh the screen, bring that screen up here. So the other screen, which you can see, it's showing my smart devices on there. So I can select them all to turn them all on, or I can turn them all on individually. Okay. So that's brought one of my lights on now. Obviously, I don't think you guys is going to see that. If I want to turn it off, again, just repeat the process. You can operate this, like I said right at the beginning, even if you haven't connected the panel to the alarm.com portal, you can still turn these lights on and off via this screen. Okay. The next screen, obviously now, because I've turned the panel cameras on, it's took some disarming photos of what's already been in the log there. And then this is your camera page. So as you can see there, I've got 2 cameras on mine. So if I tap on the camera I want to display, it'll connect to the cameras. So any camera you add onto the portal, what you can do there, so you can see me, let me turn that off. So that's my doorbell. So any camera what you connect there onto the screen, onto the portal, you must tell the portal to push it to the screen. Again, that's quite a question that crops up quite a lot. People think they've added the camera and they can't see it onto the screen. It's in the alarm.com portal you do that. Again, any help with that, I can help you out with it. So I'll get rid of that one. I'll show you the other camera I've got on here. So this is an internal camera. Again, on this camera, we can have 2-way audio on there. This is just inside. You can see it's just showing on my display there. What I'll pull up, if I can just do it, to show you that the lights come on and off. So what I'll do on the app is bring my lights on. Okay, so as you can see there, so I've controlled all this off my app, as you can see there on my cameras. Now, again, with your customers, if your customers got, I don't know, children, or they've got a playroom or anything like that, have a bit of fun with the system. You know, get some LED strips in there. You can control them on and off your device, like I've just shown. Obviously, these LEDs work off a secondary app, so I control the colours off the secondary app. So you could give the kids the app to control the colours. They can have a bit of fun with that. But overall, you will have the control of it because you can then turn them off. So again, it's been a miserable year. You know, for the summertime, I'm going to have some new deck. I'm going to put some external LED lights. Connect them up onto the app. I'll have a bit of fun outside, putting my LED lights on, and indeed my patio lights and my drive lights, everything I'm going to control off this. Once we put them onto the system, then I will do my notifications on my alarm.com portal. So what I will do then is say my drive lights, I'll put them on at a certain time. I'll put my patio lights on at a different time. If I've got lights on in my bedroom for when I'm on holiday, I'll create notifications for those. So I'll put those on different times there. So obviously it looks like I'm still in the house. So the alarm.com portal will allow us to do many, many things. We can even now, what I've done with this system, I've run it onto a scene. So when I arm the system, if I've left all these lights on and I forgot to turn them off, when I set my alarm system, it will automatically turn these lights off when I arm the system to arm away. So again, it's saving me. I don't have to turn them all off. Again, then you can link this onto the heating controllers. So when I've armed the system to run away, it'll turn my heating off, turn my lights off. a great one with my better half. If she's left her hair straighteners in, which is another one, I'll make like a program the Salus plug in there. I'll put the Salus plug to turn the hair straighteners off. So any device what we've linked up to the portal, you've got full control over that. Going back to the cameras, so cameras, again, analytics on there. I've created analytics, so I've put a tripwire across my garden, for instance. So what I've done with that, it'll send me a push notification to say that the tripwire is being triggered. But also with that, I've linked that onto my Z-Wave lights. So I've now made my lights come on at 5 o'clock at night till they'll turn on for 2 minutes. But I've made that only active between 5 p.m. and 6 a.m. the following day. Obviously, when it gets lighter in the summer, then I'll alter those times. So you can make full control of every part of the system you've got there. So what we've moved away from is obviously a burglar alarm, which you can't really do a deal with, into something where you can tailor it into your lifestyle or your customer's lifestyle where you need to be. So you can do many, many things with this. And also what we've noted now, we've got for instance, we've got a customer in down the south. He's just installed it into an elderly couple at 90-year-old. They absolutely love it because they can see the screen. Where the rubber button panel, they can't see what they're pressing, or they can't turn the light on, for instance. This they can. It's all touch and swipe, goes to the menu where you want it to, and you've got full control over the system. So we're noticing now it's going into all the age group. My dad's been in the industry, for the burglar alarm industry, from 1979. Obviously, he keeps asking me what I'm working on. He's retired now, of course. He's got an inkling he's going to have his system upgraded now. So, which I thought my dad would never do. He's a little bit old-fashioned, but, you know, like he's just said, he likes the idea of when somebody comes on his drive, the cameras will notify him. Also, he can put the lights on a timer through the app. So he's got to like the idea of all that. So coming to the end of this presentation, hopefully you've took a little bit away from that. You guys have got my details, I hope, or if you haven't, we'll make sure you've got them. And if there's anything I can help you with, please contact me and I'll do my best to help you out with anything at all. Or if you're stuck on the portal or anything like that, we'll do his best to help you. Thank you very much indeed. I really appreciate your time. I'll hand it back over to Paul.
Thank you very much, Jason. I hope that you all enjoyed the presentation. We have got a few questions for you as well. If you could be polite enough to answer some of them, Jason. I think we've answered in my check going through the call. If the installer code has been programmed but is unknown, can the system be defaulted?
Not by, well, okay, so there is strictly another engineer code, which is 4.2s, which isn't commonly displayed. By the 4.1s, the short answer is no. If it's the 4.2s, yes. We're led to believe later on they're combining that more into one engineer number, as we're all pretty much aware of already. So no, not with the 4.1s, no, you can't.
And then we have a question from Yannikis. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. What do you recommend Wi-Fi and internet routers specs to ensure high quality connectivity of devices?
That's the $1 million question.
Yeah,
okay,
I was thinking the same.
Me, for instance, my own experience, I've upgraded to Virgin Media, so I've got full fibre optic in here. But that doesn't alter the fact that the Wi-Fi is going to be any good. So what I've done, I've put a set of TP-Link black spot eliminators in. What that comes with is 3 nodes. So I've got one remotely in the office where I'm at, which is in my garden. I've got one in the house and one at the front of the house. So since I've done that, the panel never dropped, to be fair anyway, but because in my office I've got so many devices connected up to it, I've had to ensure that I don't get any drop off. So that's $1 million question.
Just to add to that as well, Jace, obviously we're using the highest level of components in Qolsys. So the Wi-Fi chip that we're using is very high spec. It's potentially the best one that you can get. So from a Qolsys perspective, the Wi-Fi chipset is very high level.
Yeah.
The issue that you potentially could see is a number of external factors, being your broadband provider's router. As we know, like the Sky routers, for example, they are just made in China. There to serve a purpose, being given out on a mass number. So it does depend upon that, and obviously with the connections, well, that's also the speeds that you're getting. You can now, and I actually did it, as I've said a couple of times, just moved home, but before I moved, I actually checked the speed of the internet in the area, and I can get Virgin's fastest broadband. But when you look throughout the country, and maybe your country as well, you'll see that there's certain areas that are pulling very low broadband speeds. So it's something that you may have to think about and potentially get an external router, maybe something like a Netgear router or so on. I guess it's country dependent and area dependent, to answer your question.
Yeah. But I know we don't want to dwell on this subject too long, but backing on to that, Paul, obviously you've just took, what I was going to say about the chipset inside there. I can honestly say that my panel itself has never, ever lost network. Even before I had the units I fitted in here. The reason I've done that is, like I say, I've got many things in Wi-Fi in here. That's the reason why I've done it.
Yeah.
So I've just got a question I'm just going to answer. Are the apps chargeable for the app itself? No, they're not. So they're free to download. So you're not having to pay App Store or Google Play, is it the other one? So no, the app itself is free, which is an alarm.com app.
Yeah, there is obviously the recurring monthly fee that you do get from alarm.com, but that's the service that you're paying for, not the app download. Obviously that would be a conversation that you would need to have with alarm.com into your specific packages. So yeah, I mean, we can put you in touch with the relevant alarm.com representative, and then obviously you can have a discussion with them and get them to sharpen the pencil if needs be.
Yeah.
Another quick one that we've got, Jason, is can you do a backup of the configuration?
So on the possibly David will answer this next week, but on the alarm.com portal, the dealer portal, you can have your templates on there. I presume is it for when obviously you're putting other panels on there as well, so you can duplicate what you've got to put it onto another system. So if it's a backup like that, then yeah, you'd set a template up for it. If it's a backup where you're thinking you're going to lose any data, if there's a power surge or anything like that, well, obviously everything's sat there on the cloud, so be all right with that. Another question I've just got here, if that's all right. How many devices will the panel take? Well, it's 128 PowerG devices, so quite a large system, as well with 4 partitions.
A quick one that we've got as well is the arming and disarming with mobile phone. Do we have any tutorial videos on it? Go on.
There may be preloaded one what actually comes on the control panel. You know, we've got the section in there with the preloaded videos. It may be in there. If not, we'll search and obviously ask the alarm.com guys. Possibly I'll be on the alarm.com.
I'm wondering if they mean the Bluetooth and the geofencing, Jess. I'm just going to ask the question.
Okay.
We'll wait till we get a response and we can return back to that one. Rowan has asked, on the Wi-Fi connectivity matter, can you add more than one connection for failover? We have failover systems in place, but if the internet devices fail, the panel automatically switches over to another network.
Well, don't. Sorry, you dropped out a little bit there, but backing onto that, don't forget you've got the SIM card in there. So if one signal path's dropping, it's going onto the SIM card, isn't it? Yeah,
I was just going to say that, Jay. So Rowan, obviously you've got your dual path connectivity, you've got your Wi-Fi, but you've also got your 4G LTE. The SIM card's obviously included in your alarm.com package with unlimited data per month. So as Jason said, you know, it's dual path anyway, simultaneous dual path. You don't have a primary, you don't have a secondary. They're both continuously communicating. If you're meaning via an ARC, I've spoke to a number of ARCs recently. So I'm assuming that they would have a fallover. So they will probably have one or two servers. So if you're meaning in that respect, then your monitoring station should also have a fallover as well, or a fail safe. So hopefully that answers your question. No arming when you arrive to the home and Bluetooth is in range.
Doesn't arm, it disarms. So it's Bluetooth disarm, not arming.
Okay, and the Bluetooth, you can set the geofencing area, can't you, Jess?
Yeah, there's other areas as well. Possibly, I think I might have missed that one out, but with geofencing as well, let's say if you've not armed the system, again, this is where you tailor the alarm.com portal. So for instance, my one, if I haven't armed it, I've set it, if I haven't armed it, when I get a mile away, it will send me a notification to say that system is not armed. So yeah, you tailor that in the portals.
Okay. Is there a compatible video recorder that we can pair with the IQ panel and access through the mobile app? Okay, so yes,
alarm.com do SVRs. I have a 16-channel version. So again, when I'm going to upgrade my system at home, I've got a 16-channel SVR where I'm going to put the alarm.com cameras into, run them through a PoE switch and sit them obviously onto my account. So the answer to that is yes. They do a little 1 terabyte version for the moment, and like I say, for the bigger installs, a 16 channel version.
Okay, I think we're reaching the end of the questions. If anyone's got any more questions, just feel free to put in and ask away. Obviously, we're here to help you. If you've got anything that comes to your mind, we'll just give you another minute. What I will do. Go on, Jess.
Sorry, I've got another one. SIM card. So that comes obviously pre-loaded into the panel. When you create your alarm.com account and register the IMEI number, it then becomes live then, and that's obviously then when you'll start paying for it.
Superb. Have you got any more, Jason, or is that your last one?
No, that's me.
Another one is, are there any easy ways to check the battery level of your sensors? Would that be in the diagnostic test?
Yeah, you can't check the battery level, whether it'll say like 20%, 30% or anything like that. That's not in there. Whether it may come later down the line, or if it is there, indeed, I haven't seen it, to be honest. I will check that, but I don't think that option's in there.
Okay.
As we know, Power G batteries last, a long time, don't they? So got a good battery life on Power G.
We've just got another one. Can you please go over the NVR recorders again, please? So if you just want to reiterate the point of the SVR, Jace, that'd be great.
Yeah, okay. So the SVR is an Alarm.com product. They do a 16-channel version. So obviously it's not PoE. You'd have to put a PoE switch on there. Again, with mine, I'm running all Cat6, putting the IP cameras into there, running it through a PoE switch, and then I'm creating that SVR onto my Alarm.com portal. So I'm creating it onto the account, and then obviously I've got my recorder on there as well, so I can pull back any recordings off there. So to be honest, it works exactly the same as a conventional DVR, MVR, really. So it's the same, exactly the same principle.
Okay, I don't think we have any more questions.
Sorry, there was one more question which I was planning to check out the meeting, but maybe Jason knows the answer. When you do the time schedules, can you use the sunset time for those lights time schedules, or does it have to be like a given time?
Yeah, no, well, you can put whatever times for your scheduling you like. You've got it'll bring the list up when you're creating the notification.
But can you use sunset time, Jace? Does it know when sunset time is? So obviously, as we're progressing.
Yeah, I believe yes. I believe that option's in there. Yes.
Okay, superb. That's fantastic. A lot of people are saying thanks and great work. What I want to do is I just want to end the webinar with a quick poll, and obviously remind you that next week we are having Alarm.com on. They will be going over their offering, introducing you to them, why they're so good, and so on. So join us next week, same time, next Wednesday. And, the week after that, we've got the marketing portal. Been talking to some customers today about it, and they were absolutely blown away with everything that we're offering from a marketing perspective. So join us on that one. Let us help you update your website. The more interactive it is, it will generate you more leads and clicks. So, we're here to support you from a marketing perspective as well. Thank you for joining us. Hopefully we've answered all your questions. And if there's anything else, please feel free to email any of us, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your time. It's very much appreciated. And again, if you need any more information, please contact us and we'll get back to you. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.